welcome to episode 3 of the Calon Yarns Podcast. My name is Lynn and I'm coming to you from Cardiff in Wales in the UK, and this is a knitting, fibre, crochet based fortnightly podcast. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for coming along, and if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. And to you all, I really appreciate you giving me some time today, so thank you all for watching. If you want to get in touch with me, please feel free to leave comments below, or you can join the Calon Yarns Ravelry group over on Ravelry, obviously, or Instagram, I'm there as Calon Yarns, or on Facebook, all the places. But do get in touch, it'd be lovely to hear from you. Today's show will be the usual format, so finished objects, yarn acquisitions or rediscoveries, works in progress, that kind of thing, and general chatter at the end of the programme, so you can dip in and out wherever you wish. I'll try and leave links to everything I talk about in the show notes below, but I'll also put little things up on the screen as I go. So yeah, hopefully you get a gist of what patterns or yarns, etc. that I'm using. So let's dive in then. Yes, I have done it. My Bruns Cardigan by Emily Louis. I have finished. Have a look. I love it. Have a little look. It is made from recycled cotton. It kind of rises at the top here. It's really light, really lovely. Drops back at the bottom. Can you see? So yeah, it's great. I really like it. The sleeves, obviously, I made a slight adaptation, operator error, not the pattern. I started my decreases much later on, but it's fine. It's blocked out lovely. Went for the 3/4 length sleeves because I thought I was playing yarn chicken, but actually, where is it? Here. Look how much I've got left. I've got loads left. So these are my leftovers now, and I have to buy more stuff to add to my leftovers. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, thought I was playing yarn chicken, wasn't. But managed to use this from stash. Yeah, it was great. I'll put a link to the pattern below because I really enjoyed knitting it. Very easy to do, all in one piece. It was a little bit slower for me because I'm a slower purler than I am a knitter, so obviously it's back and forth because you can't well, you can steek, I'm sure, if you made it out of wool, but this is cotton, so yes, it was a back and forth knit. But yeah, really happy, like it very much. Perfect for the summer, if it ever arrives. So that's my first finished object. Yes, there are two. And now I'm going to show you my second finished object in true Rentaghost style. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Those of you who lived in the UK in the 80s can remember Rentaghost. I'm sure I have always wanted to do that. And here I am. I have appeared in another outfit. Look, this is fabulous. Lovely length. This is the Ranunculus sweater by Knit Cafe Midori, and I did this in some yarn from Giddy Yarns, their silk and mohair mix. Look at the lovely pattern here. It's a really simple lacy yoke, and you do it in 2 strands. So one, the mohair. Look what I've got left. That's it. So it was one ball. I got this whole outfit out of one 100-gram skein of silk mohair mix. Giddy Yarns, have a look at her stuff. It's absolutely beautiful. I think this cost me £18, maybe, I want to say. And then I had some lace weight in stash. This was, I'd say, about 50 grams, I think. I can't work it out. But hey, there we are. That's not for me to do. I just knit the things. I don't work it out. So this is what I had left. So loads. But I love the short sleeves. Yeah, I'm quite a warm person anyway, but I think my inner core temperature is rising given my age. So actually, something this fluffy made me feel a bit stressed. But with the short sleeves, perfect. I love it. I love the blend of blues and slight golds and creams. It's perfect. And we were talking about Rentaghost from the 80s. This isn't the mohair of the 80s. Fear not. I was a little bit concerned with the scratchiness and the heat of the mohair. If you ever remember mohair from the 80s, I remember persuading my poor mother to knit me a batwing mohair jumper that was. It had a section of cream, I think, in the middle, then mint pink, mint green. You remember. And I put it on and had to rip the thing off because it was just so itchy. So sorry, mother, I never wore it because it was too much. I couldn't get a coat on or anything. Batwing, like proper, from here to here. What was that about? What were we thinking? Anyway, this mohair is beautifully soft, very cosy, and this is my second ranunculus. So this is adding to my gaggle of ranunculi, and yeah, I think I probably will do another one. It's on a 6mm needle, and it just knits so quickly. A little bit of short row shaping, like I say, this lacy yoke, and then you're just stocking stitch around and around, away to go. It's so quick. I thoroughly recommend the pattern. You can do lots of different weights. If you have a look on Ravelry, you can see all the different weights that people have done it in. So that is my second finished object. Very happy lady. What next? Oh yes, my broken seed stitch socks. I finished one. Let me show you. Da-da-la. I have desperately lost my sock mojo. I don't know what's going on. I just can't get to grips with it. And to be honest, the only reason I finished this one was because I knew you'd be cross if I hadn't, so I just cracked on. I haven't done the heel. I'm going to do an afterthought heel, but before you shout, I haven't done a heel because I haven't got much yarn left. So I have cast on the second one. Look, just cast on the second one. I've only got that much for the heels and toes. Yeah, that's right. So I'll see. I'll get this one done as a tube, and then I'll see what yarn I have left. I've got obviously yarn for the body of the sock. See what yarn I've got left, because I might have to do different coloured heels. So that's why I'm not being lazy or anything. Yeah, I just need to get that sorted before I see how much yarn I have left. So those are my finished objects and sort of a work in progress on my second sock. We talked last week about necklines, if you remember, my light bulb moment on the old neckline thing with the Tin Can Knits Strange Brew book, and how it explains the different necklines and how to get different necklines when you're knitting top down or bottom up. And I just wanted to share something with you on that. I did the Soldotna Crop. I mean, who hasn't? Love it, love it, love it, by Caitlin Hunter. Here is my version. Very bright, very summery, out of stash. But when I finished it, the neckline wasn't right. It kind of stuck up a little bit. It was almost like a turtleneck. Again, operator error. It was my fault. It's not the pattern. I think I'd gone up a needle size and maybe gone too far, and then it didn't quite fit with the rest of the body. So as you do, you don't go back. You go, it'll be fine. It'll block out. It's not a problem. I'll be able to sort it out in a blocking situation. But no, I couldn't. It wouldn't lie flat. So I thought, oh, there we are. I'm never going to wear that. But I was brave, and I put a needle. You know, if you do an afterthought heel, those of you who've done that, you'll know what I mean. You put the needle in just above where you want the heel to go, and a needle in just below where you want the heel to go, and then you snip a stitch. It's fine. Breathe. You snip a stitch and you unravel that little section, so you've got a gap then. So I thought, well, I can sort of do the same with this. So just below, where are my fingers going? Just below the the ribbing, I inserted a needle around there, inserted a needle below the ribbing to catch the stitches, and then I snipped. So I took out a section. It was a lot taller than this before. I took out a section and cut the ribbing bit in half, and did it again. I did it on a slightly smaller needle. I reattached the yarn, knit up on a slightly smaller needle, and then it's flat and sits beautifully. It's much, much, much better now. So yeah, if I had known about the neck adaptation and starting a little bit later, if we didn't want such a high neck, starting in the next stitch count, then I would have done that. But as it is, even if you've got something that you think, oh, I've messed that up and I'll never wear it, be brave, go back, put the needle in, snip out, and then re-knit the thing you've had to do that you want to change. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, really. I also did that on a sweater that I did that was bottom up, that was too long. So instead of obviously going all the way back to the beginning, again, I put the needle across, snipped, and just added a little bit of ribbing and took a big chunk away from the bottom of the sweater. So even if you got to the end and it doesn't fit right, or it's too long, or it's too short, there's always a way to make a yarn adaptation. If you are brave, you can do this. It's absolutely fine. So yeah, so now I wear my Soldotna all the time. I loves it. I do, as we say in Wales. What else? What have I got on the needles? So I have gone into my stash and found something very interesting that I must have bought about 10 years ago, I think. I keep banging the table, I'm so sorry. This Sirdar Sawyer, it's a double knitting. It is 50 grams, 100 metres, I think. Is that what it says? 105 metres per 50 grams. You can't really see the texture very well, but it's got a lovely sheen to it. It's a little bit splitty to knit with, but it is gorgeously soft and has a beautiful drape. And like I say, I must have bought this about 10 years ago. It was on sale in Hobbycraft, I think, of all places. So being a relatively new knitter then, well, I just cleared the shelf. I thought, there we are. That is, there's wool there. It's not wool, it's Sawyer. I'll find something to knit with that. And so finally, excuse me, 10 years later, yes, I have. And I have cast on the Bamboo Summer Top. It's not bamboo, it's Sawyer. There we are. By Nancy Ricci. She is getting pearly with it on Instagram, and I think on her Ravelry is getting pearly with it. She's just done the fabulous knit along called My Boy Lollipop. If you are on Instagram, you'll have seen the loads and loads of glorious sweaters that people have made in that pattern, in lots of different designs, yarns, etc. But yeah, this is a free pattern on Ravelry. I shall put the thing below. Yeah, and I thought it would be perfect for the summer. So I've cast on, and I have done a couple of repeats of the lacy edging so far. And I'm really happy with how it's turning out. Can you see it's all a little bit squishy at the minute? But it's got a really nice lace pattern to begin with. You do 4 repeats of the lace pattern, and then you move on to the stockinette stitch, and then you divide for the sleeves. But I thought, yeah, that'd be great to be able to use that from the stash, polish the halo, and also have a nice top to wear for the summer. So I'm doing that on Addy 4.5mm needles. They're a little bit slidey because they're metal for the yarn, but they're not super pointy, and because the yarn is a little bit splitty, it's quite swift. You don't kind of keep poking through those strands. Yeah, so that's knitting up quite quickly. I cast that on quite late last night and have done 2 repeats already of the lace pattern. So that is working out very nicely. I'm very pleased with that. So recommend that one. It is a free pattern, as I say, on Ravelry. What else? That's all I think I've got on the needles at the minute. Summer's tricky, isn't it, for knowing what to knit? Because you don't want it too heavy in your hands. It's too early to think about those glorious colour work yoke sweaters, etc. for the autumn. Shawls and shawlettes. I think I might have a go at one of those over the summer because I've been stash diving. As you know, I am trying to use up some of my stash, and then I can feel better about myself when I actually acquire stash. So I have found two balls of glorious. I think it's a cotton linen mix. I cannot remember who I bought this from. I think this one is 150 grams and this was 100 grams. But I bought it at Totnes Wool Fair about 2 years ago, I think. You know, when you go, I need that, I need that, I need it now. But it's beautifully light, it's glorious denim-y colour. So I'm thinking a summer shawl, but I can't quite find the right pattern. It's definitely a 4-ply, quite a light 4-ply actually. So if you've got any ideas, please let me know. Please leave in the comments, because I quite fancy a summer shawl. We go to France in the summer. My dad lives in France, so we are lucky enough to spend a little bit of time over there in the summer. And I would like a summer shawl, just a wraparound of an evening. Yeah, so if you can think of anything, let me know. I do have one pattern that I have been musing over. I really like this one. This is the Sunwalker pattern by Melanie Berg. She has some beautiful, beautiful patterns. So that I think might be quite nice. Interesting enough to knit. So there's sections of stocking stitch. There's sections of lace work. I love a knot. I love a knot in a shawl. I don't know why. It always looks a bit classy, you know. So yeah, I might have another look at that if have a little read through that. But if you can think of anything, let me know. Yeah, so we'll see. I've got plenty in my stash to regroup, reuse, rechannel. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. What else? Nothing else, I think. Apart from, of course, Covered Corner. So, Covered Corner. This is where you get in touch with me about patterns that you've seen on Ravelry or on Instagram, or yarns that have caught your eye that you think, oh, if only I had the time or the money or the patience to knit something like that or crochet something like that. Send me along some details because it's lovely to have a little coup over that together. And in fact, you can hashtag Covered Corner on Instagram if you're on Instagram, and I can see the little things that you're discussing there. Or I have also done a Covered Corner Ravelry page on the Calon Yarns Ravelry page, Covered Corner thread. So yeah, please have a look. Pop some stuff over there. It's just nice to have a chat about those patterns that we go, ooh, look at this. Because sometimes, I don't know what you're like in my house. You're like, oh, look, oh, nobody's interested, whatever. So it'd be nice to have a little gossip about patterns and yarns and lovely things like that. So do drop me a line either on hashtag Covered Corner on Instagram or over on the Ravelry thread Covered Corner and see what's going on there. But what has caught my eye this week is, I've got so much stuff scattered around, is the Pom Pom Magazine. Now I know the new summer Pom Pom Magazine has come out, but at a little a Yarn Buddies gathering where I wasn't, I was busy working, they had a little look through this and the patterns in here are glorious. You can get it on Ravelry as a digital download, or you can pick one up. I got this online from a shop online. These patterns, look at this, isn't that just glorious? Beautiful stripy patterns. But I think the one we're all going to have a go at is this one. It's called Tarmac. I love that. It's called Tarmac. Oh no, you don't need to see the words, you need to see the picture. I hold it in the other hand. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that really lovely? Lots of different sizes, really loose, and it's done in a DK, a 4-ply. Oh, I could do it in that yarn. No, I want to do a shawl with it. That's what I said. That's what I said. I've got plenty of 4-ply yarn in my stash, cottons. So look, isn't it absolutely glorious? So yes, you can get this pattern on the Ravelry, or you can pick it up in paper version from online shops. So I thought, let's have a little cowl, either a knitting cowl or a crochet cowl, called Celebrate Summer. So if you've got something that you would really like to have a go at over the summer period, because it's always tricky, as I say, to kind of find the right patterns for summer weight yarns and clothing and shawls. So have a little look around, and if you'd like to join in, we're going to start round about now. Today is the 1st of June. I forgot to say that. Today's the 1st of June. So if you want to join in with a cowl, there is a thread on Ravelry called Celebrate Summer, and pitch in there with any ideas you've got. Cast on, we're going to go all the way through to the end of August. So any sort of cottony, bamboo-y, soya, linens, those sort of things. If you're knitting with one of those, why not join in that Celebrate Summer, because sometimes it gets a bit quiet over the summer period with yarn and knitting and crochet. So yeah, have a little look over there and let me see how you're getting on with your summer patterns. And that's sort of all I've been up to, really. Anything else to talk about yarn-wise? Nope. No, I think I've got to all those bits. So I hope you've been having some lovely knitting time over the last 2 weeks. I hope you've got some exciting things on your needles and you're ready to cast something fabulous on. Go stash diving, find some cotton, find some bamboo. It's really reasonable, actually. So if you don't have any in your stash, I give you permission to have a little look in your local yarn store or online or wherever. Find some beautiful cottons or linens. They're quite reasonably priced. And just cast on something light. Cast on something ready for the summer. And then, actually, if we all have summer fashions ready, the weather will be good, because that's the sort of knitting law thing. So, you know, it's our responsibility to make the sun shine this summer. So that's pretty much all the knitting content. If you are scooting off now, then thank you so much for joining me. If not, I'll have a little blabber about what I've been up to for the last couple of weeks. But if you're going, I will see you soon. So what have I been up to? Work. As you know, I am a university lecturer, so we've finished. The students have finished. We haven't finished, but the students have finished. So we've said goodbye to all our students last week with their final presentations and projects. So that was bittersweet, as it always is, especially for our third years. But then the whole machine starts again. So we start the planning and the timetable and the budgeting, things like that, ready for next September. So that's already started. So work is busy, but good. My daughter is back from university. We went to get her last weekend. Right. Why didn't somebody tell me, if you've been through this, why didn't you tell me how much stuff they bring back with them? And if you are about to go through this, let me tell you, they bring back so much stuff. So I tried to be a good parent, okay? She's done her first year. I'm a girl guide through and through, so, you know, be prepared. So I sent her with plenty of kitchen appliances, not appliances, crockery and plates and saucepans and spatulas and vegetable peelers. Why? All that stuff, so that she would be equipped. She would be equipped for whatever she needed. She would be prepared. But what I didn't think was, she's going to bring all that stuff back. And now, and more. And now the house, everywhere is stuff. And I know that actually she's probably used one pan and a pizza cutter. That's going to be about it. That vegetable peeler, nope, never seen the light of day, I doubt. So that's quite stressful. But in 2 weeks' time, my son comes back after his first year of university, and I know he's going to do the same, and I know those pans will still probably have the cling film on them, and the spatulas will still be in the little pack that I sent when they went. So I don't know what I'm going to do with all this stuff, and it's wonderful to have them back, of course, but my goodness, they expand. They're like gremlins, they just get bigger and bigger. So yeah, finding places for things that will, of course, soon be going into their next year's accommodation. But My advice to you, if you have children going to university, pack light. 1 cup, 1 plate, a fork maybe, and a pizza cutter. I think that's it. Don't worry about the vegetable peelers or the spiralizers or the fish slide. No, they don't need it. They don't use it. Just go basic is my advice to you. So she is back, which is lovely. And what else is happening? That's sort of about it, really. We're kind of getting ready for the summer, ready to pop over and see my dad. Yeah, that's all, I think. So on that note, I think I've gone over half an hour now. So I hope you're well. I hope you have some lovely knitting time planned over the summer. And please drop me a comment about Covered Corner or any patterns you'd like. If you've got any advice on that cotton 4-ply, I'd love to know your ideas on that one. But yeah, be good and have some nice yarn time, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Okay, hwyl fawr, bye.